Welcome back to Fast Money. Wall Street crowning a new top Apple bull today. It is our call of the day. Wedbush's Dan Ives raising his price target on the stock to a new street high of $600 a share with a bull case of $700. Ives says Apple is presenting a once-in-a-decade opportunity, betting on another iPhone supercycle. Joining us now is Dan Ives, the man behind the call. Dan, great to speak with you. What has really changed in the Apple story since it reported earnings, aside from the 30+% rise in the stock? I mean, we knew that there was going to be a new 5G phone later on this fall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and thanks for having me. I mean, really, to us, it's a few things. First, our checks in terms of supply chain checks in Asia, it showed an uptick in terms of demand going into iPhone 12. And this has really been the last 3 to 4 weeks. And I combine it with what we're seeing in China. That's 60 to 70 million iPhones in a window of an upgrade opportunity. And I take a step back. I think 350 million, based on our math, 950 million iPhones are in this window of an upgrade opportunity. Combined with services, that's why I believe it's really an upgrade opportunity. It's a once-in-a-decade opportunity for Apple, Cook, and Cupertino as they look ahead.
So let's back up on the stock. Let's just say for kicks, Dan, that the stock were at $400 a share, $450 a share. Would you still be out today saying $600 and then a $700 in the bull case? I'm just wondering, because it seems like it is the case that every single day so far this week, an analyst has come out saying that they are the new street high price target on Apple. So it feels a little bit like a chase here, as opposed to a fundamental change in the story that would trigger this wave of price target increases.
Sure, and it's a valid point. I mean, but we've been consistent with our thesis on Apple over the last few years, even going back 2014, 2015, in terms of this was going to be a re-rating story. And part of why, even in the COVID storm, we've stayed steadfastly bullish, it's because of the services business. We think if you go back a year or two, Street's assigning a valuation $200 billion. Today, we believe that's up to $900 billion. That's going to be annually a $70 to $80 billion revenue stream as we go out in the next 2 to 3 years. So to us, it all comes back. If our supply chain checks and everything we see, and especially in China, if it shows a downtick, then we're not here today making the call. Instead, to me, it's still a green light ahead, a re-rating, and no doubt, a lot of haters out there as the stocks hit 300, 400, now 500. In my opinion, I believe bull case a year from now, stock has a 6 in front of it.
Hey, Dan, so let's go with that, because I agree with you on the services business. I think that alone could be almost $1 trillion company. But the evolution of valuation seems to me the relative point here. Where do you have this stock on a 2022? Because you can make an argument it's at around 30 times based upon those numbers. And we have a case where maybe we've had that once-in-a-decade move, not from now going forward. The valuation for this company, it's no longer a hardware company. Now, for some other people, and we talked about this with Morgan Stanley earlier in the week, it's relative to other tech platforms and consumer platforms. So it's not even talked about in the services hardware mix.
Yeah, but really at the core DNA continues to be the iPhone cycle in terms of iPhone 12. And that, to me, that's the 1-2 punch. It is a super cycle in terms of what I've seen, not just in the 5G component, but in terms of that 350 of the 950 in a window of an upgrade opportunity. I view it as like this. 2-3 years out, this has potentially $25 of earnings power. $15 for the hardware business, and as well as in the wearables, $10 for the services business. And that's some of the parts. I can tell you from investor conversations, over the last few months, that's the key. And if you look in this storm, that services business, it's held up like a rock of Gibraltar, which has been a huge part of the bull thesis here that's really played out.
Dan, great to speak with you. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Dan Ives of Wedbush with his call on Apple. Dan, Nathan, what do you make of this call?
Well, listen, I don't blame analysts for chasing price here. He's obviously been very bullish on the stock, on the story, on just the whole ecosystem, the product evolution. So you got to continue to justify. No one likes to put a sell on a company like Apple, but when you have a situation where the stock has gained, a $500 billion in market cap since it last reported earnings, you have to say to yourself, whatever you think that super cycle is going to be in the fall for an upgrade of the iPhone, it's probably in the stock here. You've seen this panic buying here. I don't think it can continue like this. I don't think anyone expected it. That's why we see these analysts tripping over each other. But I'll just say this, the China stuff is not out of we're not done with that, okay? And Apple will be the last battle fought there. And they have lost market share in China in iPhones. If they don't grow market share in iPhones, they don't grow services. And services is the thing that's vulnerable in China to the sort of backlash that they could get for what we're doing with TikTok or whatever. And then also in Europe. So we're going to see regulation of that app store. So I just don't think they're pricing in at 30 times forward any particular headwinds for this story. So, all the power to him. He made a lot of headlines. He could be right for a while. I don't think you trade this thing into their upgrade cycle because I don't think it's going to be a super cycle.
All right.